What is up? What is up? What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Robert Graves bringing you another episode of You're the Vet. For those of you just tuning in for the first time, You're the Vet is a platform that brings veterans on and talks about transition woes, transition successes, lessons learned during their transition, and thank you if this is your first time for tuning in. And if you are a returning guest, thank you for returning, and thank you for trusting in me to bring you quality conversation and hopefully lessons learned that are helping you guys answer questions and problems that you're running into on your own. This episode is special in the fact that the guest today is not a veteran. In fact, the guest today is an active duty officer in the Army and has created a online marketplace called Patriotic Online Marketplace, LLC, aka POMP USA. And it is a dedicated marketplace for service members, veterans, or their immediate family members to sell their goods and their products to the public. So essentially, POMP USA is a veteran-owned, ran, and serviced Amazon, Etsy, and eBay. Well, not so much eBay. POMP launched in May of 2017, and they currently have over 150 entrepreneurs and over 4,200 products for sale. Products ranging from fashion apparel, bath and beauty. You can get handcrafted wooden flags, ammunition, and weapon accessories, sporting goods. I mean, everything. Pretty much anything that you can think of that you could get on another marketplace. But everything on here is created and sold by veterans. So if you're a veteran or still in the military and you are selling your own product and you'd like to be a vendor, you can sign up on https://POMP USA, that's POMP USA.org, and get verified through ID Me or email Team POMP at info@pompusa.org. And they'll verify. And there's no signing up fee. There's no membership fee. And you get your own store. You can put it on your website. And it's just another avenue to get recognized. So I learned through POMP by them reaching out to me and asking if I wanted to sell my book on POMP USA. And it was so hassle-free that when the time came around to think about who I wanted on the show this year, Adam and his team were definitely somebody that I thought was going to be beneficial for you guys to hear, whether it was to hear about becoming an entrepreneur and starting your own business, or whether it was to hear about assisting you on your entrepreneurship path by helping, get your product out there and give you a marketplace for yourself. So hopefully this conversation gives you one of those two things or both. And if you have questions for Adam, I'm sure that he would love to answer those questions. I did not ask him that. So if he does not want to answer questions, then my bad. So other than that, the business portion of You're the Vet, you can find You're the Vet on most major social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, the whole shebang. Please visit you'rethevet.com. And on the front page, actually, you'll see all the social media platforms that I'm a part of. But more importantly, please peruse the website and look at all the guests that helped build the Year of the Vet community and helped get this thing started. There's a lot of great knowledge out there. There's a lot of people from different backgrounds, acting, entrepreneurship, staffing. I even interviewed Santa. So look around, listen to those that interest you. But first, let's give our time and focus to Adam Maneen. So Adam, thanks again for agreeing to be a part of the Vet family, and welcome and Happy New Year, man.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Good, man. One thing I want to kind of just kick off for the listeners is that you are not a veteran yet, but the reason I'm reaching out to you is because you have a service that I think is new, it's relevant, and it's something that entrepreneurs that are getting out or entrepreneurs that are in right now are going to be wanting to hear about, because you run an online platform specifically for veterans. And so that's why I have you on here, because what you offer helps vets. And then you'll be a vet yourself at some point. So before we get into even what you offer, who is Adam, and who was pre-service Adam Maneen?
Yeah, so that's a good lead off. I do want to say real quick on that transition part, because, that's kind of how, some of our common bond here is that, yeah, I am a transitioning service member, and I just started my transition 2 years before I'm actually getting ready to drop the paperwork. And a lot of that was, just based on the tech capabilities and building that capabilities of our platform of Patriotic Online Marketplace. But yeah, but before, if you're talking about pre-service, that's a good question. That was a long time ago. Originally from upstate New York, went to high school and college, though, in Virginia, graduated from VMI in May of 2001. So when 9/11 happened, I was down at Myrtle Beach just bartending, kind of hanging out. So the patriotic strings kind of tugged at me. I said, hey, I need to get in the service. And since I also had some college loans to repay, I enlisted first to pay back some student loans and whatnot. After a couple of years in, I looked at a pay scale and then went green to gold to go the officer route. Yeah. So as far as, only a couple of years enlisted, green to gold. And then from there, when you go green to gold, you get to pick your school. So, I wasn't going to make the same VMI mistake again. And, and I applied to schools like San Diego State, University of Hawaii, and Hawaii Pacific University, because I felt like those schools had the right program for me.
Where's home?
Well, I don't even know really where. I'm originally from Syracuse, New York. Okay. But my parents now live in Greenville, South Carolina, and we just kind of moved around a bunch. So, right now I'm stationed in Mojave Desert here in Fort Irwin, California. So, that's where, we are now. I'm married. I've got 2 kids, 4-year-old and 3-year-old girls.
I was asking because you applied to Hawaiian schools in San Diego.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was just because I didn't want to do the same kind of Virginia Military Institute kind of experience with college. Gotcha. I wanted to have fun. Yeah. Yeah, it was cool.
So you said that this patriotic tug got you. Prior to enlisting, was that something that you were into? Did you always know that you wanted to be in the military at some point, or military family?
So, no, I don't. My grandparents served in World War II. I didn't. They died when I was fairly young, so yeah. I didn't know them all that well. But I would say that the military always had a natural kind of gravitation towards it. I think that's why I chose VMI, Virginia Military Institute, for my undergrad. But I don't know if I can really articulate why that was. I didn't come from a military family. My older brothers weren't military. My parents weren't military. Yeah. Like I said, my grandparents, but yeah, I would say that the military was just a natural draw. Yeah. I can't really articulate it.
No, I get that. There's no ounce of me that wanted to join the military, but my friends had, and I stepped on the yellow footprints exactly a year before the towers fell. But when that happened, I know what that feels like. I'd already been in before I felt that patriotic bug, so I empathize with that. Now, you're here on You're the Vet because of your entrepreneur bug. Have you always had that? Have you always been looking for how to be of service or how to make money?
So, yeah, I would say that making money or, obviously, there's always, people always want to make money and look for the hustle and whatnot. I can't say that it was that strong until I decided I really wanted to get out of the military. Okay. Just with an experience, say, hey, kind of, this is enough, and then instead of just looking for Army problems to solve, I started looking for civilian problems or just problems with a civilian application to solve. And so at that point, that's when we started looking at, kind of when we came up with Patriotic Online Marketplace is, we kind of knew we wanted out, didn't know what we wanted to do. I was studying for the GMAT. I was looking at contracting jobs. I was looking at just updating my resume, LinkedIn, and just working for private industry. whatever it was. But then I think that since I had that mindset of, hey, I'm still looking for problems, but I was more open to civilian problems with a commercial application, that is what allowed me to recognize that there was a problem in the military community, that there should be a dedicated marketplace for military-owned businesses. Our story, why we came up with POMP, was, my wife was making releasable baby headbands for our daughters. Now, I don't know if you've got any girls, or, I'm sure there's plenty of listeners out there with little baby girls. Well, when you have girls, mama's going to dress them up in baby headbands. All the baby headbands that you buy in Target or whatever are always one piece of fabric. They fall down the kid's head. They're around the neck. Looks like a strangulation hazard or potential risk, even though there's been 0 deaths linked to baby headbands in the United States. It doesn't matter. My wife was like, hey, we need a releasable or breakaway headband. And at first, so she tried to find them, and there were no releasable breakaway headbands. So then she was like, hey, I'm going to make them. So, yeah, the supportive husband that I am, I said, hey, that's awesome. So how much is it going to cost me? And we went through the numbers of what the glue gun is, all the materials needed. There really wasn't that much. So I was like, hey, no problem. Go ahead and make them. And then she said, hey, well, maybe I can make a few extra and sell them on Etsy to make an extra $100, $200 a month. And as you know, most military families are one-income families, and many families have turned to e-commerce as a way to supplement the family income.
Okay.
So she's like, hey, I'll just sell them on Etsy. I was like, hey, then I was like, hey, I think that sounds cool. This is awesome. Let's go get everything you need. But when we got on Etsy and you typed in baby headband, there were over 274,000 results that came back. That's when I was like, shit, that's a problem. Even if you have a better mousetrap, how do you market it? How do you get the word out? Because none of them were releasable or breakaway. So obviously, my wife knew right away too. We were discouraged. Like, there's that many headbands on the site. And I was like, hey, babe, it was like, it's too bad you can't highlight the fact that you're a military spouse. I bet people would want to buy from you. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, there should be a dedicated marketplace for the military community to sell their goods and services to the public. So that was our kind of like eureka moment. That was our aha. And then we started looking into it, and that there was a few directory style models out there, but they're, they just kind of list it, and it's kind of like a Craigslist without the creepiness.
Yeah.
And part of their model is like, hey, for $350 a year, I'll give you a digital decal that says you're a veteran-owned business, and then I will mail you an actual sticker that you can put on your storefront that says you're a veteran-owned business, and I'll list you on the site. And, as an infantry guy, I've done a year in Iraq, year in Afghanistan, and I'll be damned if I'm going to pay anyone $350 a year to say I'm the veteran-owned business. I've done my time, I've done it honorably, been shot back, And then I realized what they're doing is they're just selling hope. Because as veteran-owned businesses, you just want to be recognized. You just want to, you're not even really looking for special treatment. You just want a fair playing ground. So from there, it was like, hey, we didn't want to do the directory style model. We didn't think it was very effective anyways. And so we modeled it after Etsy or Amazon and eBay. Like, hey, this is how people shop. That they need to go to one site, and I don't care if you want to add in 5 items from 3 different vendors, be able to just add it to your cart, ship, send it out. Now, what we didn't know was that on the tech side of the house, how difficult that was. It was just a nightmare, because the problem is that so many developers, and I'm sure there's some good ones out there, probably some good family men, who knows, but for the most part, I don't know why, as kind of like a community, they just overpromise and underdeliver.
What would be an example of what you're asking or saying right now for a developer to overpromise?
So our first developer just ripped us off.
Okay.
Just $12,000 gone, wasted, got nothing from it. Our second one, who we had for like 7-8 months, it's disgusting to say how much, but $80,000, and we probably got a $20,000 website. So one of the things that when you start getting into this field, they'll talk about modularity. Like, hey, you have your core file, which is A, and B plugs into A, and then you just plug C into A, and then D into A, and it's all this great. You get all these extensions and all these capabilities, but what they don't tell you is, yeah, B plugs into A, and C plugs into A, but B and C don't talk to each other. Mm-hmm. When you're looking at functions of different stuff. So I learned a couple of lessons after a ton of money spent. I don't speak geek naturally. I've had to learn it, and I can understand it now, but I don't speak it.
Yeah.
Two lessons are, one, I'm not qualified to hire a developer. I mean, I've clearly have not demonstrated the proficiency that I know what I'm doing when it comes to hiring the right guy. But the other thing is that, I learned is I just don't like developers.
Yeah.
But I am a much better boss now because I've had to learn the language. I've had to understand, like, they do things from a technical perspective, where I have to do things from a common sense of, like, so if you ask for a capability in a technical sense, and they're like, oh, well, I delivered that technical capability. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't work. It doesn't do what it says it's going to do. And it's just a different learning curve.
Yeah.
For me, I couldn't even spell IT when we started. Now, I have since become, I would say, pretty proficient. Now every day I'm getting on my Google Search Console, looking at the analytics. I'm becoming essentially a webmaster, even though I have no technical background. But I've had to because I can't afford it.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford not to learn it.
And how long has this lesson taken?
Well, I'm still learning it as far as the lesson, but I would say we have been in development for over 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Now, I do look at development as a never-ending mission. There's always something to do. There's always a way to improve. But what we're improving now is so minor, is more cosmetic. It's not, the function is there. Now we got speed there. I mean, the future looks so bright. I can honestly say in the last couple of weeks that I am truly, really just proud of our site and what we've accomplished. And from a technical perspective, there's no one else out there with a secure, scalable platform like us. There's been a couple other marketplaces that kind of popped up. They're on a Dokken extension on a WordPress website. They don't have the security or scalability that is required today. So no one else is out there with our capability. It's just been every day it's a long day.
Yeah.
But, we finally turned the corner, so it's really cool.
So I guess to give more clarity to what POMP USA is, now, for those who aren't familiar with Etsy, believe me, if you were dating somebody, female specifically, you would know. But the online marketplace, I mean, just like Adam said, like if you think about Amazon, but turn it around and everything on Amazon is veteran created and veteran owned, that is what POMP USA is. Now, Adam, with that thought process, this started about 2 years ago, right?
Yes.
Now, who was your first customer outside of your wife? And how did you go about getting people and recruiting for POMP?
So when you talk about customers, I kind of look at our vendors. They're really called clients, but
gotcha.
If there's someone that's going to be a business major out there and correct it, but I still look at our vendors as our customers, and the customers are our customers. We serve both.
Gotcha.
And primarily, we're actually focusing first on the vendors. And I think that's a big difference between us and Amazon, eBay, and Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
Where they don't care about you because they're going to get their margins. Like they've got enough traffic where they can replace you. Where my thing is like, hey, whatever a vendor's problem is, it's our problem,
mm-hmm.
and we take on it. I guess back to your question, are you talking about the first like random sale that happened, or are you just talking about the first client that ever kind of came on and said, hey, I'll list on POMP?
The very first military-owned product to be listed on POMP, or did you have a handful before you launched? Like how was that process? No,
so we did it a little different. So instead of having a big like launch, I'm here party, whatever, we actually tried that a couple of years ago. It didn't go so well. And I've learned in the tech side, like you almost don't ever want to do it. You don't want, at least for me, I'm scared enough of it. I don't want to say, put a date on it, like, hey, we'll be ready then, unless you're already ready, So we did more of a trickle approach, and we've actually been on a live server for over a year. And that's why I think a lot of people don't, if you look at our site, you wouldn't realize it. Like, hey, I'm just hearing about you. It's like, yeah. But over time, I would just go to the vendors and say, hey, look, I got this new website. This is who it is. No listing fee, no membership fee. But I would create their store forum so I could go through that process and keep refining that sign-on process.
Yeah.
So when I didn't like a button, when I didn't like some, if I thought something was confusing to me, that's how we would change things. So we started over a year ago with certain clients, but our first sale really didn't come until the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So even though we were on a live server, no one else really knew it, and that's how we refined the website. Because whenever you're in a development mode or demo mode, you're not going to see everything like you would on a live server. So, and that's really how I approached refining the website. It was just because nothing comes out of the box. Like it just doesn't come the way you would expect it, want it. The Amazon, eBay, Etsy, they've spent millions and millions developing their site. I didn't have that, so I kind of traded time for money, and I had to be the one to kind of refine the website. And like I said, it was a learning process.
I know that I got an email, and that's how I learned about you, because I got an email offering to put my book up. And at first glance, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, talking about there's people out there that like prey on vets, right? And you and I had a conversation a couple of days ago, and that came up also, and I'll probably want to get back into that at some point. But I got this email, hey, this is a new marketplace that is only for vets. And at the time I was in the mode of, fuck it, why not?
How much is it going to cost me?
Yeah,
you might have been like, screw it, like I'll try it, because you're hoping to get notoriety out there, and you're hoping
something, right? And it was a crazy easy experience for me. And I think a month later I got an email saying, hey, your marketplace is up and here's a link. And it was no sweat off my back. And so my book is up there now, and I'm in the process of getting apparel, and I'll be doing the same thing. But yeah, it was crazy easy. And I mean, I didn't have to think twice about it. And I think that was one of the things that stuck in my mind for when I was looking for some heroes to get onto the show. I thought first about you guys, and I'm like, man, more people need to be aware of this process, whether it be to buy or to sell on your platform. So yeah, man, whatever you guys, I mean, the work you put into it, you've made it easy for the client,
Yeah, so I guess there's two things. One, it definitely shouldn't have been a month long from flash to bang. I think your account would have taken us about 20-30 minutes to set up. So if it took longer than an hour, I owe you an apology on that.
No,
but
that was me just throwing a day out. But you're probably right.
Okay.
It was probably a month for me to pull the trigger.
But yeah, what you're talking about is like providing value, like where I don't ask for anything up front. There's not even a mechanism right now that you could pay us. The only way we get paid is commission on sales. And there is no way, there's not a Shopify, there's not Amazon, nothing else out there where a vet can start an e-commerce store for free and then on sales only pay 3% commission. It just doesn't exist. It's not out there.
Yeah.
Because that's, again, like I'm looking at it from the vendor's perspective, because all those fees, they add up and they nickel and dime you. So Etsy has listing fees. They don't care if you sell it. That's when I was looking at the 274,000 baby headbands. I was like, how the heck do they sell this many headbands? They don't, and they don't care if they do or not, because then the vendor has to keep paying every 4 months. They have to pay more listing fees, and if they do sell it, then they pay listing fees again. And so I was like, what kind of margins do you need on a headband, to make it? And so, but yeah, everyone else, they're looking for something up front. Like I have aligned our interests with the interests of the vendors, and it's sales. I'm like, do you want to get sales? Now, we're also an Amazon affiliate, so because your book is actually sold on Amazon.
Correct.
So that was another thing that we did, because gone are the days that when we looked at it, it was like, hey, what's a vendor's problem? Well, one of the problems is, especially with authors, like gone are the days where you have a stack of books in your spare bedroom, and as you get a sale, you ship it out. I mean, you rely on Amazon printing services. Now, for that, you're probably paying an upwards of around 40% commission. Right, wrong, or indifferent, you've already accepted that. You're like, hey, I need it. I'm going to pay the 40% commission or about that. And you might not like it, but you rely on it. So what we looked at is like, hey, well, we still have to give these authors notoriety. So that's when we apply for our Amazon affiliate account. And so we can still list to me, you're still a business owner by selling your book. So we can still list you. It's completely free. With Amazon affiliate account, if someone goes and buys your book and they get to Amazon through POMP, then Amazon will give us a small percentage from the Amazon cut.
Gotcha.
It won't come out another dime from you. You wouldn't notice it. You would just know you got a sale on Amazon. You would never even know that it originated here on POMP. But yeah, it's crazy to me, all the fees that people want to charge and what they think that they're worth. And it's like, without ever providing anything.
So through the process of creating POMP, you also said that you guys are using ID Me, which is brand new. It's essentially brand new to the community because USAA is using it now. I know the VA is using it. AT&T is using it to link veterans to benefits or discounts or XYZ. But I still don't quite understand ID Me. So can you explain what it is or how you're using it onto your site?
Sure. So at the core of it, ID Me, there's two companies out there, ID Me and Share ID. And ID Me, being one of the two, they were kind of granted by the federal government to their core competency is identity verification, online identity verification. So they can get in and they know that you're a vet and who you are. And what their business model is really they want to get discounts from large retailers to vets. Because a lot of times, you go in a store, they say, hey, 10% veteran discount, military discount to show your ID. Well, how do you show your ID online? And that's where ID Me comes in place. It was 2 years ago. I was on Caesars Entertainment trying to book a room to Vegas, and that's when I saw, hey, if you're military, you get a 10% discount, or whatever kind of discount they were offering. And so I looked more into it, and I saw that's when I found out ID Me. So I just contacted them and said, hey, love your technology. I know you're using it to get discounts from large retailers from our community. So I would love to use your technology as a way to verify vendors. So that identity verification on POMP, it's paramount. We love the patriotic American people, but hey, we are a dedicated marketplace for military-owned businesses. So that means it's the service member, it's the military spouse, it's the immediate family member, mother, father, brother, son, daughter. We have to keep our identity.
Yeah.
And so through ID Me, we do that, and it's worked out great.
So, on top of my book that's being sold there, what else do you guys carry?
So, our categories vary widely in any kind of other marketplace, apparel, fashion accessories, jewelry, health and beauty, obviously the stuff for the men's grooming, a lot of the beard care is there. We got a lot of military spouses making handmade soaps. Yeah. A lot of decor items, the home decor, whether it's plaques, coin displays. We also have, candles, any other kind of frames, American flags, handcrafted American flags. Yeah. We got a bunch of coffee and then some pet supplies. Also, we're an everyday carry friendly marketplace. So you can get a lot of the gun supplies. I think that's another area I'd really like to grow. I know some of those other marketplaces kind of limit what you can sell. I'm definitely pro Second Amendment.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are. I hope the majority of us are.
So my only problem is actually so we use PayPal as a merchant processor. So I have to be somewhat careful on what I can list, really only because I don't want to be kicked off from PayPal.
Gotcha.
So I am looking for getting a second merchant processor in place, so then I don't have to, pray to the PayPal gods.
What would you not sell on POMP?
Obviously anything illegal.
Okay. No, like
you're not going to get any drugs. You're not going to get
Barrett's blow-up dolls.
If a blow-up doll, is that what you said? Like
a Barrett's blow-up doll.
I haven't had the high demand yet, so I haven't reached out to. I don't know if there's a veteran listening with a business where he sells them. I bet actually they could probably do pretty well.
Well, I know that there's veterans out there that are buying them, so.
Yeah. I know. Hey, like I'm an infantry dude, man. So I see what some of the guys bring out to the field. Yeah. Yeah. So No, there's definitely a demand. But so if you're a veteran, you have a blow-up doll business, contact me. You can essentially have your own category.
And I need the shout out if that happens, because and probably and that person needs to come on to Year of the Vet. So, but what's the big picture? What's the end goal with POMP?
So it's a good question. So essentially, we have to align ourselves with someone else. I think there's a lot of people out there right now. We're all kind of fragmented. We're all a little specialty. Now, I absolutely believe to help veteran-owned businesses, a marketplace is part of the solution. I don't think it's the only solution out there. And I think that, we're looking at other partnerships right now. I think 2018, we've already gotten some interest from some other groups where they've tried to have a marketplace. And they said, hey, look, we tried twice before. It cost us a ton of money, never got what we wanted, But they have some of the other pieces, whether it's marketing help, whether it's entrepreneur help, whether it's financing and stuff like that. So they have the other pieces to the puzzle. So really, I think 2018, you'll find us looking for some strategic alliances so we can deliver more service, more value at an even better rate. And so I think that's how it's going to kind of look. So you'll see overall probably a consolidation in the market. Right now there's a lot of good people doing the right things. The issue, the way I see it, is that I think they were a lot stronger if we worked together as a team.
Yeah.
And so some of it is some people, we're just going to have to elect a chief. We're just going to have to get in kind of unison here right now, because I think everyone wants to be the hero of their own little movie. And it's like, hey, we're missing out. We've got the influencers. We've got, again, the financing. We've got the interest. We've got so many other pieces in place. We just have to kind of start all rolling together. And then I think that we could take on any of those large companies. I mean, there's a lot of vendors that don't like Amazon. They don't like selling on Amazon.
Yeah.
They don't like eBay. They don't like Etsy. And there's a lot of people just looking for help. But there's so much white noise out there. They don't know who that trusted name is. So, I'm looking for, partnerships.
Like I can now shop on AFES as a veteran. And I think, who am I to tell you what's up? But that would be a huge partnership, because if you see pomp.org all through your service and then you already know about it from on base and you're attached to AFES, that would be huge.
Yeah.
Just the thought.
It's good. And you would think it would be a natural fit. So the problem with AFES is they can still have a lot of products made in China. It doesn't help the individual person.
Oh, no.
Or they carry a lot of Under Armour. And it's like, hey, Under Armour is a great company. It's very supportive of the military community. But that doesn't help the military spouse or the veteran with his own T-shirt business.
Yeah.
So, I think we were talking about it a couple of days ago where even Walmart's got a deal. Some retired general works now on the board of Walmart. So now Walmart can say U.S. Navy can make shirts somewhere overseas. I'm guessing. I don't know this. So I'm just assuming. Somewhere overseas, then put the U.S. Navy emblem on it or Marine Corps emblem on it.
Yeah.
And so I love it when people want to show their pride, and I give them a 50% credit. It's like, hey, that's great to show pride, but why not help the veteran-owned business?
Yeah.
If you want to support the Navy or the Marine Corps guy or Air Force, Coast Guard, Army, whatever, then buy from them. You can shop and support military families on Patriotic Online Marketplace.
Yeah.
So really, because when you look at it, what Patriotic Online Marketplace, POMP USA, what we do is allow a customer to control their money. So wherever you spend your time and money is what you value in life.
Yeah.
So if you want to support the military families, hey, great, now you can do it.
Yeah, I hear you. I think the thought process was more of Create Space is an Amazon affiliate, right? So it'd be POMP USA is an affiliate of XYZ, but that's what you're looking for, right? Not necessarily AFES or Walmart, but you're looking to be an affiliate of a larger corporation, like a team member. Or how do you see yourself fitting in as that Lego piece?
So I see, like I said, I think Patriotic Online Marketplace, I think a dedicated marketplace for military-owned businesses is a piece to the puzzle. Okay. But when I say a piece, so I see myself as essentially the webmaster, kind of always running the day-to-day operations of Patriotic Online Marketplace.
Gotcha. Okay.
So either way, so that's where I see my role at. And sometimes I think I'm almost too much in a knife fight to even get to high ground and look at what else is going on. So that's where I think that the strategic partnerships come in place. Like, I don't need to partner with AAFES. I need to partner with someone that already wants to help the veteran-owned businesses and military spouses.
Gotcha.
The people.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So you're looking for like a partner like USAA or Navy Fed.
Yeah. Well, they would be a cool sponsor. They would help me with some marketing and whatnot. So they would be a cool sponsor, but I don't know if they would be the right partner.
See, you've been in the weeds a lot longer, so you've got more clarity on vision. So yeah. So like what I would bring up is kind of, yeah, that's a good idea, but not exactly what I'm going for. I get that.
Yeah, sorry, no, but I like the tries. Yeah. I like to keep asking them.
Well, you can't say I never tried. No,
yeah. No, it's good, but there's a difference. Like, I mean, a large corporation like USAA, yeah, it would be great to have them. Great sponsor. I mean, they're a great company. I use them. Awesome. But I'm looking for the partners that can help be that total package. So when we have a veteran-owned business or military spouse-owned business, that we can go to them where they can list their stuff on pompusa.org. It's free. They can start an e-commerce website for free. That's what I bring to the table. Other people can bring to the table of like, hey, well, this is how you do your social media marketing. This is how, you need financing. You need a $10,000 startup for your business idea. That's where those other people come in place. And so all the people that I'm looking to partner with would be the people that are looking to help the veterans and military spouse-owned businesses at a personal level with their business. Mm-hmm. That's my vision of it, that we're all one big team. And I think that when we do that correctly and we do it together, we can be bigger than an Etsy. We can be bigger than...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think people realize how many veteran-owned businesses are out there, whether it be, the local plumber or making kids apparel. Like, legitimately, every time you turn around, you meet somebody who served.
So the numbers I'm looking at are about 3 million veteran-owned businesses. Yeah. Now, I do think, like what you said, is 2/3 of them are going to be local services. They wouldn't be a good fit for POMP.
Yeah.
As a comparison, like Etsy's got 1.2 million sellers.
Yeah.
And 25 million active users any given month. So right there, we can do it. That doesn't even include, there's not even a stat for military spouse-owned businesses. And I look at it as like, if you're a military brat, you're part of the military family. You're part of the military community. You serve. Like, raising your right hand might be a single individual event, but the family feels a sacrifice. So absolutely, the family is welcome on POMP USA.
Yeah.
And those stats of those people who are business owners, they're not even kept anywhere. So it's enormous. It sounds very niche, but when you start breaking it down and you start adding the plus one, when I say plus one, it's that immediate family member. No, we are a large demographic, and we're growing. That's the thing. And I don't have the number in front of me, but the people that are leaving the service are more interested in entrepreneurship today than the national average of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So, it's in our spirit, and we want to make them all successful. I mean,
so with that being said,
your time and money is what you value.
Yeah, and so with that being said, like the time you've spent in the Army being a leader, right? What's the main difference between running a business with human interaction and running a business that's primarily online?
So, I'll say effectiveness. So I have my own personal opinions. They're probably not appropriate for this right now. Maybe over a couple of drinks in a bar, I'll tell you how effective I think. The military is a large organization. A large organization is very difficult. As a small business owner, I have a very flat organization. It's very easy for me to synchronize my marketing efforts with my IT efforts with, because I am the same person. I already know what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. And so any large organization is going to have difficulties. And you do have to put the right policies and procedures in effect. So, but I will say the single biggest difference is attribution. And attribution means I am truly responsible for everything POMP USA does or does not do.
Mm-hmm.
And as a company commander, you know, like I can't be a toxic leader. POMP will fail if I am. You know, there's like POMP's money is our money, is the Maneen family money. You know, so I have to be very judicious with my decisions. I have to think about them. Everything that we do, we have to do it effective.
Yeah.
You know, and I just don't think that the Army is set up the same way.
Yeah.
Like in fact, I know it's not set up the same way. I mean, I think we all know it's not set up. And it's unfortunate, you know.
No, I mean, I get it. You're saying realistically that the success of your business is directly affected by your energy, your time, your dedication to your
my
craft.
Performance.
Yeah,
right.
And would you say that is the single hardest attribute to running your own business?
Well, yeah, it's hardest and the most rewarding.
Yeah.
You know, when things go, you know, obviously when things go bad, it's like, oh man, I'm the dumbest guy alive. I'm letting my family down.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've risked it all. You know, I like I said before, I had 2 combat deployments. I invested that money. It was doing very well in 2 different, you know, kind of homes. I've sold both those homes, put it all in POMP. I've taken money out of my TSP. I've risked everything on the technology.
Yeah.
Because I knew that the foundation of that technology. Now, whether that risk, and we'll see if it pays off or not. Like I don't know, but also I do know that I can't quit.
Yeah.
You know, it's my family. I mean, you know, we've been eating ramen. You know, it's been part of our diet.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're in California.
Your wife's like, I just wanted to sell headbands.
Yeah. I mean, hey, trust me on this. But I was so naive to the process.
Yeah.
And then after you lose 5,000 guy, and then you lose even more. I mean, I am a dum-dum, you know. And so many mistakes. So, you know, in our community, it's like, hey, you can either be the tough ranger or the smart ranger.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't really matter as long as you're accomplished the mission.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I was a smart ranger, you know, but I am definitely I feel like I'm carrying the 240 a lot.
Yeah.
Either way, though, as long as we get mission accomplishment, it's all good.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of challenges. There's always hurdles. There's always problems. And you just have to prioritize them, you know. There's stuff now, like I said, where I've said before, like website development is an ongoing mission. Now there's stuff I'm getting at, some issues that I recognized last year. They were nowhere near on my to-do list. Mm-hmm. It was like, hey, it's all good, you know, because they were nowhere near on the priority. So now it's good to see them like, hey, this is a priority now.
Yeah.
But it's for everything. Like, there's always hurdles.
Yeah.
You know. You're the only one that quits, you know, like you just gotta keep going, keep walking. You know, but I don't know, you know, so I don't want to give anyone advice on anything. You know, I don't know what their personal situation is. I mean, I'll tell you, it's been scary.
Yeah. So that's interesting, right? Like going in business for yourself is like, at the very first thought of it, you're like, yeah, and you're all motivated, and you know you're going at it for, you know, weeks, and then like after a couple of weeks, you're like, whoa, this is fucking work, and then you know, yeah, and people kind of start to falter out after about a month, and you know, some people keep at it, and you know, you're saying that you gave up 2 homes and you're in your TSP. Now you're getting into the nitty gritty of what it takes to be successful. That a lot of people need to hear because they quit when it could just be that next week, just one more week, right? How does that fear affect you, good and bad? How does it drive you? How does it hold you back sometimes? And how do you get over it?
Yeah, so I don't know how I get over it. You know, so I mean, at the end of the day, like, yeah, I'm usually caffeinated by 4:00 in the morning. And would I like sleep? I would love it.
Yeah.
However, I've already risked everything on my, it's my family's. I've risked my family's financial security. I think that risk is going to pay off. We have finally turned the corner. Our technology is there. We're awesome. So that, it's a gamble. Now, to me, so really, and also the point of the show, that transition process. I am still active duty. So I've been moonlighting essentially for 2 years because I would have had to quit POMP if I got out and then I thought, next month I'm going to be successful with POMP.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen. It's not, so I've been planning my transition for 2.5 years. And for 2.5 years, we've been working on POMP. I think we got our business license July 29th, 2015. Mm-hmm. So the biggest thing for the listeners, for the viewers, and if you're starting that transition process or if you're thinking about it, start moonlighting. So if you want to be an awesome craftsman, if you want to start doing it now, as while you're still getting a paycheck. And that's allowed us to take some of the risks, because at the end of the day, my family's going to eat clothes on their back. They're going to have a safe place to sleep. It's a non-negotiable. And it's allowed me to be able to keep taking certain risks with the commitment of resources. So that's my, takeaway.
Yeah.
Plan your transition early. Start it now. Don't wait. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything that I may have missed that you wanted to plug, or maybe you wanted to say?
No, I think it's been a good conversation, very thorough. It's kind of, each one of the topics we could go further on, at some other venue, but we've already hit kind of the broad strokes on many things. There's always hurdles, there's always challenges. You got to overcome them. You got to transition plan early. And at the end of the day, what kind of value are you providing? For us, we just keep on focusing on the vendors. We want to provide value. It's tough out there. I just think everyone wants to try to nickel and dime. And we're just trying to separate ourselves by providing that value up front.
Yeah. And I wish you guys the best of luck. And man, Adam, it's been an honor, and I will have you guys on at every step of the way if you need the platform. But for those of you listening, POMP Patriotic online marketplace. It's a dedicated marketplace for service members, and they currently have over 150 entrepreneurs and over 4,200 products on their website for sale. And products vary across the categories in apparel, fashion, accessories, bath and beauty, home office, sporting goods. No blow-up dolls yet, but if you're a vendor and you're looking for a place to sell your veteran-made, veteran-owned, and veteran spouse made, veteran, or even military spouse, anybody that is a family member, direct family member of a service member, and the service members themselves, if you're looking to be a vendor, you can sign up on https://pompusa.org and get verified through id.me, or you can email Adam or his team at info@pompusa.org for verification. And remember, there are no listing fees or membership fees, allowing for you guys out there to start your own storefront. So did I miss anything, Adam?
No, that's it. Yeah, thank you very much for having me. This is a great broadcast, and wish you the best.
Yeah, man.
And thank you.
I'm looking forward for you guys to kick it into gear and just be a household name. So
thank you.
Cool. So tune back in for the next Year the Vet show. And Adam, thanks again. Happy New Year. And I will talk to you guys later.